Welcome to Craft, community of raw arts by the female tribe. Bienvenidas. Inspire is Craft's podcast section. We raise awareness about contemporary female artists and cultural facilitators. We spread the word regarding their current and future projects. Inspire is a sacred space to empower the female tribe. Women like you, like me, like all of us.
Moonlight, and my pale face is shining. Moonlight, and my tears look as ancient stars. I am a lady who knows very well the darkness that surrounds. I imagine a room where to find me when sunset light falls. I stole the burning of the sun while living to fill this place with volatile artists of the true show of knowledge.
Great, so Maureen, welcome. Tonight we're here at Pub Limerick, right? And we would like to interview you because we hear you are the host of Poetry and Storytelling.
One of them now. We have another host that just joined the team, Hector Ayala. And yeah, I've been working on this I created it 2 years ago. And I've been working on it alone since then, but now I felt it was time to bring someone else on board. So,
Okay. Tell us a little bit about you, Maureen.
How did me?
Yes.
That's a very general question.
Well, yes. Who is Maureen, and what does she have to do with poetry and storytelling?
Okay, with poetry and storytelling as a craft, not that much because I don't do it myself. But I did create this, as I said, 2 years ago. So I love just like I just wanted to create a live event that wasn't seen in Barcelona. I mean, it was the first one in English that happened, and now there are 2 more. But it was the first open mic that did storytelling and poetry in English in Barcelona. And that's pretty much why I wanted to start it, because I thought, okay, maybe there's a need for a space like this. Turns out that people did want to express themselves more than maybe I expected them to do. But yeah, and then since then it's been growing, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Sounds good. How did this project start? How?
Did you just wake up one day and be like, oh, this is a great idea?
Good.
I want to.
No, so I used to host an intercambio, a language exchange.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at Craft Barcelona. And that's when I discovered that I really liked hosting events, and it was really fun to meet like random people. And one of those random people was a poet, and he told me that he didn't have a space that he could go to and tell his poetry, because if you go to like a music open mic or a comedy open mic and you start reciting poetry, it just doesn't work.
Doesn't fit.
No, the audiences are very different. And so this just kind of stuck with me, and then when I stopped doing that event, I thought, well, might as well create something that hasn't been done before, and sort of this guy. And I started this event not knowing anything about poetry or storytelling. I mean, not even knowing people who did. So I knew a lot of comedians here, So I just invited them and told them, hey, can you do a set that's kind of like comedy, but not really, like just tell your comedy without the punchlines, pretty much. And that's how it started, and then it picked up.
A way full of surprises, maybe?
Oh, definitely, because I realized that I actually really enjoyed live poetry when I started doing it, but before that I had no idea what it was. And actually one of the performers just came in. Two of the performers just came in. Hey!
Welcome!
Yeah. Can they come listen?
Of course, we're interviewing
Okay.
Maureen about poetry and storytelling. Come join us.
Ah, it's about that. I thought it was for another thing.
What other thing would you be doing here?
What surprise now?
So many interviews about it.
Yeah, we're talking about it again.
Okay.
Yes, we want to hear the full story.
Story.
And then the poem.
And then the poems.
Para mí, cuando salía de la universidad, todos los artistas tenían que llevar una carpeta enorme y un carrito lleno de pinceles. Entonces, no sé, un artista realmente me parece cualquier persona que haga con pasión su trabajo.
Bueno, un artista para mí es de lo más complicado que hay de definir, puesto que existen tantas vertientes del arte que dar una sola definición me parece incluso pretencioso, ¿no?
A nomad. A wanderer, a searcher, whatever you want to call them.
Artists are inspiring to me. Some great minds, their own vision of the world y su forma de transmitir lo que sienten y lo que son, their soul.
Artist. Well, I mean, in terms of the sense, I also need to define myself as an artist, but it's quite tricky word. An artist as a job is the people who live for that creativity or productions. It's kind of the way to define the practice in a bit more serious way.
That exists. A definition of artist. I wouldn't make a definition of artist that was independent from any other discipline within the humanities or sciences. I think they're one and the same thing. It's about inspiration. It's about ideas. It's working in the world of ideas.
Mm-hmm. Es un ente mental que al final se ha podido transformar en algo real y que encaja, digamos, en lo que nosotros podemos ver con los ojos, escuchar, leer.
Wow, un ser humano muy completo y complejo a la vez. Y pasional.
So we wonder, what kind of challenges have you encountered throughout this journey?
Honestly?
Honestly?
Okay, I'm going to be as honest and just as honest as possible. I think anyone who has dealt with the public as a general entity will know what I'm talking about. I am a fan of individuals, but working in retail and doing these live events, less and less of the public as in general, let's say. I think it's hard to deal with people in general. And it might sound like a douchebag, but I think a lot of people will understand that, again, I'm a fan of individuals and I relate to a lot of people, like these two guys that just entered. But sometimes it's just hard to be always motivated to share an experience with people, or just, I don't want to push the space that I created. I hope that it's a safe space where people can come and express themselves and share a nice moment. But sometimes you're just not in the mood, and you just have to come every week and pretend that you are in the mood for sharing and being sociable. And sometimes you're just not.
I was going to say, this event is every Thursday.
Yeah. I did that for 2 years. now I'm doing every other week since, as I said, Hector is on board, but I did that every single week without missing any of the weeks. I mean, I took like holidays in the summer, but otherwise every single week I was there. If it rained, if there were like protests in Barcelona, I was there.
I bet the poetry was good then.
Oh, the suffering creates art, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. We've had interesting nights. Yeah. And that's what I do like about this event. You never know what's going to happen. And since it's an open mic, everyone can perform. So it's a surprise like every single night.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Yeah, maybe it's an exhausting experience sometimes, but I think it's very worth it.
Sure. Oh no, definitely. I mean, I've met a lot of people and a lot of now my close friends through this event, and people that I would never have met without hosting this. That's for sure.
Do you recall perhaps one night or one artist that just blew your mind?
Well, thank you for asking this question in front of two of
Don't feel
so now I'm gonna have to include them in this.
No pressure.
No, you know what? Of course. So the people that just came in is Makis, Moulos, and Elizabeth Gex.
Welcome.
And Elizabeth is a wonderful violin player. She also shared stories and poems with us. And Makis is a slam poet who organizes the slam actually here in Barcelona every month. Poetry Slam.
Oh yeah, we're following you.
Go check it out. When is the next one, Makis?
The 29th.
The 29th of February is the finals.
The 29th is the final.
Okay.
So
Don't miss
it. If this is published before the 29th, go check it out.
If I'm that fast editing the podcast.
No pressure, but
we have to do it now.
There's a show to promote.
That could be. That could happen.
If I had to choose one performance, that's extremely hard in 2 years. I'm thinking of one in particular, but there were so many. I remember inviting a comedian here to speak, to share a story. I was really pushy with my comedians friends to come and try. I still am to try storytelling, and he did. And his whole set was how he dealt with literally everything in his life through comedy. And it was really interesting to see a comedian who usually has a mask on and plays, the clown, suddenly just drop everything in real, and that was really interesting for me.
Intense.
Yeah, pretty intense. And even though his whole set was how he uses comedy in his everyday life and to deal with really intense and terrible things that happen to him, it was not funny at all. And it was just intense and really interesting.
I wish I could have been there.
What's the meaning of poetry and storytelling in your life? What do you think? What's the meaning for the other artists?
Oh, wow.
Well, it's a hard question.
For the other artists, I wouldn't be able to say. I know it's an outlet for a lot of people to just create and talk about very personal things.
Yeah.
For me, I don't perform, so it's a bit strange to answer this question. For me, hosting this event is just a way to get to know people in 10 minutes. The slots are 10 minutes long, and I feel like it's
like
10
speed
minutes.
dating.
It really is.
Through poetry
it's like,
and storytelling.
Exactly. It's like open your soul and your deepest secrets to me in 10 minutes.
And then I'll see if I like you.
And we'll see if we stick around, But it's a very intense way of meeting people.
The true side.
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, I just so there's another open mic that opened on Tuesdays at La Dorotea, which is called Dorotea Speaks Up, hosted by Hector. And
who's here on Thursdays?
Yes, exactly. Who hosts every other Thursday. And I played a song last Tuesday, and I didn't realize how intense the audience is.
So you play?
Yeah.
Oh. We didn't know.
You are an artist. You were just hiding.
Are we an artist?
Aren't we all hiding?
Are we an artist?
But no, it's very strange to see the other side, because I've never performed on my show, because I don't want it to be like the Maureen show. I don't really see the point of that. But I did do one song at this open mic, and it felt completely different. And it's just people looking at you like, yeah, come on, tell us, your deepest secrets and open your soul to us, which is terrifying. And I realize now why people are afraid to go to my... Like, I'm always like, nah, don't worry, it's a cool audience, just come and share, it's fun, it's a safe space. And now that I did it, I'm like, oh my god, those people are crazy. So...
I'm not calling you crazy, but hey.
No, I mean crazy in the sense that it's a terrifying thing to put yourself through.
It takes bravery to get up there and share your soul, like you said.
Well, you've shared twice now, so...
Yes. Really enjoyed it.
It's more terrifying than it seems.
But you do, I do feel comfortable when you express to every other person, like, hey, it's all right. And you kind of feel that vibe. You're like, yeah, it is all right.
No, that's true.
It helps. It really helps.
People, yeah, for sure. I've had a lot of people come, and at first they're like, no, we just want to come and watch. And then I go like, do you write? And they go, yeah, a little bit. And the first time, they're like, no, just come and watch, see how it goes. And then they start, as I said, like getting the itch, and it starts to, it starts to build up, and then suddenly they're like, yeah, I'm gonna share. And usually the shyest one are the best. The ones that are very protective are like, yeah, it's hard to open up. If it's not, then there might be something wrong.
I kind of wonder how, because you do have plenty of writers on stage, the difference between being a good writer and being a good performer. Sometimes they do match, sometimes they don't, and that doesn't make you less of a writer. It's just that maybe speaking up is not for you, or you're not all that well prepared for that yet, perhaps. But sometimes somebody can be very charming on stage, and then again not have the best written material. But they do capture the audience attention, Yeah. So
no,
I don't know.
Sure, it's two different things, and hopefully if you have one and the other, then that's like the winning combo, isn't it? But sometimes you guys like the performers.
It's easier to be a good performer than a good writer. That's what our friend over here, Mike, right?
I don't think.
Mike said.
I don't think what to say. I don't know what to say. It's complicated.
I guess it depends. Yeah. I came from performing, so I'm still somewhat of a newbie writer.
Okay.
And I started writing music, and then sort of moved over to slam.
Well, to give one example, Hector, the first time he came here to the open mic and performed, he had never performed in his life, and I do not remember one word that he said because he was so stressed and he mumbled so much, and he was just looking at his sheet that I cannot tell you if his work was good or not because I just drifted off.
So good.
And I can say that concerning Hector because he doesn't care, but it does happen when you're like, I'm sure that there's a good thing, that there are a lot of good things in this text, but I can't hear them because of maybe the stress or it's not easy, So performing and putting your text, like emphasizing the proper things, it's something that you have to learn
and practice.
And practice. Manage your own emotions could be a hard work.
Especially if it's something that is so close to your heart and that you are pouring out there and are expecting people to relate to.
Yeah.
It's so much pressure that sometimes people put on themselves, whereas I think, and this event proves it, that whatever you want to talk about, as long as you're passionate about it, people will be there to listen. I've had people talk about I've had a guy talked about picking his nose, and people were like, okay, yeah, I'll listen to that. So
good storyteller.
Yeah.
Unusual topic.
It was an unusual topic, and that's what I like about this event. Again, like if someone comes up to you and says like, "Hey, look at this thing that I created and that I really care about," very few people will go like, "Oh no, I don't care."
You see how different is the life of other people. It's very unexpected. You are listening to a very different life, maybe hard, and you try to emphasize and to think about how is living in that person, or maybe how is the past. Wow.
Very empathetic work as an audience as well.
Yeah, and actually the audience that we attract has this quality. To be fair, hosting a poetry and storytelling open mic is way easier than a comedy, I would say, because you have people who are there to listen and they're already there wanting to relate and to empathize with the person, instead of the comedy audience that goes like, yeah, okay, come on and make me laugh, you know?
Yeah.
So heckle. Yeah, exactly. I always say like, how do you want to heckle a poetry event? Like you try and have a better metaphor than the poet, or like it doesn't really work.
Maureen, how do you imagine your project in a year?
In a year?
In a year, yeah, more or less.
It depends how much time I put in it.
Good answer.
Right? I mean, this event can grow. It has the potential of growing. I believe in it, and it's proven itself to be very stable in the last 2 years.
Similar events have also evolved
the
from
scene
this
is
one.
growing in Barcelona, that's for sure. Now, moving it or making it grow might be an option, or just keeping it nice and cozy as it is now.
I love nice and cozy.
I do like nice and cozy as well. So I don't really know what it will be in a year. I just know that for now it's been like this for a while. It's working as much as it can, and yeah, it's nice and cozy.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Yeah.
I guess before we close up and we wrap up this lovely conversation, we would like to know whether you have an advice for other women who are also starting their projects and they have an idea and they want to, get out there and start something, and whether you have something to tell them.
Wow, that doesn't put pressure on me at all.
At all.
So, as the spokesperson of every single woman on earth,
just based on your own experience, it's fine. No pressure.
Well, I feel like Barcelona is a space where you can experiment. I would never have started this in Paris or London. Or Barcelona is still a city, like a big city in Europe, where you can go to a bar and say like, hey, let's do a poetry open mic, and they go, yeah. So
there you go.
They are looking for talks. Start an event now. Call you wanna do it?
Yeah, it's just a space where you can try stuff, and also I think that the thing that I'm realizing more and more on a personal level is no one knows what the hell we're doing, so we might as well try.
Oh, it's a nice advice.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you so much for this lovely, sharing.
Yeah, and if you want to hear more sharing, just come every Thursday at
Please
9:30 p.m.
Be part of the warm audience that listens.
Or performers.
Or performers,
you can put your name
absolutely.
down and come share whatever is on your mind.
We appreciate this kind of opportunities because they are unique. When I went to this pub for the first time, I felt deeply moved. I was listening and I get lost by the time. It was amazing, and I want to repeat it twice, 3 times. everything. ¿Sabes? Every time.
Special, magical.
Very magical.
Yeah, one night is never the same as the other, that's for sure.
Well, Maureen, Poetry and Storytelling, Pub Limerick, thank you so much for being here tonight. And, stay in touch.
For sure. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Y recuerda, inspira, estamos vivas. Expira, suelta todo aquello que ya no necesitas.
Inspira es el podcast de Craft. Tejemos conciencia sobre artistas y facilitadoras culturales contemporáneas. Compartimos contigo sus proyectos actuales y futuros. Inspira es un lugar sagrado para empoderar a la tribu femenina, a mujeres como tú, como yo, como nosotras.